no industry that is not touched by technology. A lot of kids, the first time that they're touching a computer, even to switch on, is when they are in their first year, which is a very big problem processing, because whether you are in accounting, you are in education, you are, I don't know, whatever field you are in, technology is inevitable and how it works with any tool that is given to you. Once you understand how it works, you are okay. And so I think there's some kind of artificial selection, right, that is happening right now. Like according to the law of diffusion of innovation, right, you have like I think innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and then I think you have laggards. I think the government is like it's really in that category of laggards where they adopt technology only when there is no other way. Society not getting in the job market because things are moving at a very fast pace. For example, there is no industry that is not touched by technology. There is no industry that's not touched by these automation things that are happening now. And you will realize that there are still a lot of kids, the first time that they're touching a computer, even to switch on, is when they are in their first year, which is a very big problem. Because where the world is, it's like, for example, how people, you always find it interesting, ministers would come on sometimes and talk about things like the fourth industrial revolution. So from you going to switching on a PC to grasp what people are trying to do in what people are calling the fourth industrial revolution is a very big gap. And I don't think our young people, many of them are ready for these things because the people are lagging behind, especially people coming from like rural areas and things. And by the time you are learning Excel for the first time as a university student, I think it's already a bit too late for you. You have to put in a lot more effort for you to get to understand what AI even is, because you cannot even grasp what primitive tech does. So your knowledge, your understanding, your way of doing things, your way of processing, because whether you are in accounting, you are in education, you are, I don't know, medicine, whatever field you are in, technology is inevitable at this point, and it's moving at a very fast pace. And sometimes it's just a pity, because even some of us who are in this field, who are studying the thing, right, we are in tech, I still feel like we are not, I mean, compared to the general person out there, I think someone may say we are advanced, but where the world is and where we are as IT students in some of these parts, I just feel like we are still a little bit behind with some of these things. And so even to say you are going, especially the field of IT, because it changes so much, you can do something and by the time you come out, it's completely obsolete. People have phased out that they are not using that thing. So it's up to you to keep up with the times. And this is where it's really important that we talk to our children, we read up on these things and really try to understand where is the world going? What's the shift that's happening? Because it's like the thing with this, even the large language models, right? I've kind of taken it upon myself to try and be an agent, I guess, of technology to whoever is around me. And I introduced this thing to my sister. I was roughly trying to explain. She is a nurse. And I was just trying to introduce it to like what it does, and I downloaded it for her and experimented. I just told her what it could do, and now she one day just told me that, hey, this thing that you have introduced me to is really, it's really something. And this is the beauty of tools, right? You don't need to understand the code and whatever behind it, right, to try and understand, how does no. You need to understand how it works with any tool that is given to you. Once you understand how it works, you are okay. And I think, like in her case, she was like, she's very thankful because there are sometimes that the thing really does help her a lot at work, because as opposed to like Googling things where the search engine takes you, it suggests sites to you, right? You still have to go and read up, and this, with the large language models like ChatGPT, it gives you straight info based on the more articulate, the more specific your prompt is. Let's say the quality of your prompt determines the quality of the answer you get from this thing. So poor quality of question, the question is loose, as general, you get general knowledge, but when it's specific, you also get specific information. So, and this thing has so much application across the board. I've used this thing to help write business plans for people, to write constitutions of organizations for people, to I don't know, I've used it for so many things. And this is why people insist on saying that AI is taking jobs, but it's not so much that this artificial intelligence or whatever these things are going to take jobs, but someone said more accurately that an accountant who is tech savvy will be preferred over one who is not. A teacher who is well acquainted with the technologies of the time will be preferred over the one who chooses to remain primitive. Whatever field it is better that you get yourself acquainted with these tools, because this thing, I don't know, it's in its infancy. It just came, I don't know, 2-3 years back, and now it has become like used so much. Whether you talk of Gemini, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, what else is out there? Is it Llama from Meta? There are many of them, but my personal preference is ChatGPT anyway. So where the world is going, guys, because this thing is, it's like having an assistant, right? It kind of gives you superpowers if you know what to do with it. You could be doing the job of 5 people if you know how to do this thing, but it also feeds off of your knowledge base. So the more specific you get, the more specific it gets. So it's like an aid to you in whatever you want to do. And this is kind of where the world is moving to, because there are a lot of people, right, who refuse to learn the technologies of the time. And I think this thing is coming, whether we want it or not. It's the same way WhatsApp groups have become like integral parts of workplaces now. I haven't worked in a place where they don't have WhatsApp groups anymore. I don't know if they exist. So you gotta learn how to use the technology, because, and I think there's still a struggle of people assimilating themselves into the culture of that, because like, for example, there's a manager in my the previous job I just had, who, I don't know, I think she wanted to like send a thumbs up emoji, and then like she ended up like sending the middle finger, which, because she's surrounded by young people who are like, ma'am, I don't think that's appropriate. This and so, but the point is, we kind of have to adapt. We know of like Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, genetic variation, survival of the fittest, right? And I think the digital landscape or the environment around us is changing so much. There's so much artificiality to it. We have created our own way of doing things. And so I think there's some kind of artificial selection, right, that is happening right now. If you do not keep up, if you do not evolve, right, which is like a mental evolution for you to be able to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all these different things, because they are inevitable. They are, I don't know, every workplace, right, these things are a must. The other time I went to the village, I was helping this school set up timetables with that. Is it ASC timetables? Yeah, I think a lot of things are moving away from being done manually. It's automation. Everything is being automated. And the more with your degree, add technology, whatever degree it may be, add some level of technology, right? So that you are able to cope. Because the space around us is really changing, and I think there's a lot of artificial selection that is going to happen to people that will lose their jobs because they have not evolved. That mental evolution needs to happen. I can see still there are a lot of lecturers resisting technology. They don't, even in the IT field, find the lecturers that just don't use LMS at all, like these learning systems that are there. They still choose to send you notes, I don't know, manually. Some, fortunately, now at least they send them on WhatsApp group. But they don't put any notes, they don't put any tests there, they don't interact. They're all, yeah, the thing is down. And I think in a few years, some of these things will become inevitable. Like you have to, right? Because things are changing. The way companies are doing things, the way people are. Even the other day, I saw an article where I think, was it Mediclinic? I think they were saying they have a target. I think till by 2027 they want to replace, I think, admin workers to put like automated systems to do their admin work. 2027 is just now. So guys, we need to keep up with the times. This is no longer a time where you can afford to be ignorant, just thinking you have your job, you are gonna stay. Maybe the people who are a bit safe are people who are working in government, in some government institutions, because they, like, according to the law of diffusion of innovation, right? You have, like, I think, innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and then I think you have laggards. I think the government is like, it's really in that category of laggards, where they adopt technology only when there's no other way. At least many government institutions are like that, because the people are just resisting change. They don't want anything to change. The same old way people have been doing. I mean, I think we've even seen it with the US government, where we would think it's fully automated, but with the Doge and Elon Musk situation, still had warehouses of files since the whatever that were stored there that were never digitized. So if America is struggling, American government, which, no, America is the standard, how much more our governments here, whose websites don't work, some don't work. Introduce all these things, you go to the website, never working. Most of it, maybe you go there to, I don't know, and I'm not sure if it's fully or it has been privatized. Government thing that works well is NAMRA. They're very efficient. When you come to other ministries, not even to talk of platforms like NIES.